By the end of this video, you'll know how to set up your avatar to have Hypno Paws. Since we're going to be doing mesh changes here in Blender, you're going to want to back up your FBX. And the way we can do that is by selecting your avatar here and finding the body of it, finding the body mesh, and then clicking on it, which will select the FBX. You can right-click this FBX here and press Export Package. Uncheck Include Dependencies, and then press Export. Save that Unity package somewhere safe, because if the Blender export fails and your avatar explodes, you can re-import this Unity package to make sure that your avatar has been restored to what it was before, and you haven't bricked your project. Now, in Blender, load up your avatar. This could be using the FBX or the included blend file. I'm going to be using the FBX of the Mano kit here. Let's click on the part that has the paws. So for me, it's going to be the body. Now going down into this material slot right here, material button, clicking this plus, clicking new. We've just added a new material slot and then added a new material. Double click on the name and name this Hypno Paws. Now let's go into edit mode by pressing Control Tab, going into edit mode, and selecting on nothing over here to deselect everything. Now we're going to be selecting the paws of the avatar, or any part of the avatar that we want to have a little shell around to add Hypno onto. So from here, I'm going to be selecting the paws here, just one by one, all these individual triangles. I'm going to be pressing 3 to go into triangle select mode, or face select mode rather. And I'm just going to be starting to select these. So I'm going to hold down Shift and just drag my mouse on the selection. We're only going to be selecting one side, and then we're going to be mirroring that to the other side later on. So I will come back once I have selected all of these faces here and are ready to mirror things over. Okay, now with everything selected, you can go ahead and mirror this on the other side. Let's press F3, which will open up this little menu here. It might be bound to space for you. Type in select mirror and just press that. And now in this little bottom bar here, click this little box here and press extend. Now let's just look around and make sure there's not any gaps that we've left. This looks good. Now we're going to be duplicating this little thing and making it into a shell. So let's press Shift D. And without moving my mouse, I'm going to press mouse 1. Now in the top bar here, I'm going to be clicking on this little button here and pressing individual origins. Now we're going to be scaling this up just a little bit. So let's press S and just gently move the mouse just a little bit, not by too much. We want to scale this up so that it doesn't clip in. And then pressing G, I'm going to be moving this down just a little bit by moving my mouse again. What we're looking for is for this shell to not clip into the geometry and to kind of just be on top of it as a shell, essentially. And that looks about right. So now in the sidebar here on the material tab, we can go ahead and click our Hypno Paws, click assign, and now we've assigned this whole shell into our Hypno Paws material. And now let's go ahead and set up the UV unwrap for these. So in the UV editing tab here, zoom in, let's press mouse 3, so our middle mouse button, and press Shift Alt while looking down like this, and it'll snap us into this orthographic bottom up view like this. Now we're going to press U and project from U. What that's going to do is it's going to pretty much take the wireframe here and project it into the UV space like this. And that's going to be good. That's something we can stick with. We don't need to change anything else here. Now let's go ahead and make a blend shape for these to hide them. So let's go back into layout mode. Press Control Tab and go back into object mode if you haven't already. Let's go into this little data tab here. Click the plus on the shape keys here. Double click on the key and call it hide no pause. Let's click this edit button here. Set the value to 1. Go into edit mode, Control Tab. And now press S0, and that's going to scale everything down to 0 in the selection. Now if we move the value back to 0, as you can see, the Hypno Paws show up. Back to 1, they disappear. Let's set it back to 0. Let's go back to object mode, uncheck this, and scroll all the way up and select the bases again. And yeah, now we can go ahead and re-export this FBX into Unity. So let's go into File, Export FBX. Find the folder with the FBX here. And now if your avatar has official FBX export settings, you're going to want to follow those. If they don't, you can go ahead and follow these general guidelines. First off, select all the objects that are part of the avatar. So we're going to start with the body and shift click select the topmost object. So everything in your avatar is selected. Limit to selected objects, visible objects. Armature, uncheck add leaf bones. And now apply scalings. If your avatar has convert units of 1 meter to 1 meter in Unity on the FBX, your apply scalings is going to be FBX all. If it's 1 centimeter to 1 centimeter, then apply scalings is going to be all local. In the case of the Mano kit, it's FBX all because it's 1 meter to 1 meter. So we can now go ahead and overwrite our FBX. We have made the backup, so we're safe to overwrite things. Back in Unity, if we go and look at the Paws, as you can see, there's this little shell that we've made. And now we can go ahead and do our preset setup for the shell here. And we have a whole video walking through this process, so I'm going to quickly go through this. And if you want more information on how that goes, please check the video in the description. Now let's go ahead and save this as a preset. Now we have a Mano kit Paws one. Awesome. Now we can go ahead and just put any material that we want on these. For example, let's put Angry Plant on here. And set... Oh, let's just set the screen space. Oops. Now let's set the this to Mano kit Paws, and bam. We have our paw Hypno. We just do whichever material we'd like. Now, because we've made that blend shape to hide the Hypno Paws, as you can see, we can use this blend shape to hide it. So you can make a VRC Fury toggle to hide it this way, or maybe like an animation clip or something. But yeah, you can show this and hide this as well. And yeah, that's about it. Have fun.